Good morning and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. As we look at some of the saints who are marked for commemoration this week, today is the day to honor Clare, Abbess of San Damiano. Clare was born during the Crusades to a wealthy family who was also very devout. In fact, one of Clare's sisters also later became a saint as well as Clare. As a child, Clare was devoted to prayer, but nevertheless, she was on the normal pathway toward marriage, as most women of the day, when she heard St. Francis of Assisi preach a Lenten sermon and asked him to help her live after the manner of the gospel. She left her father's house, cut her hair, and exchanged her luxurious gown for a simple robe and veil. When her father tried to bring her home, she clung to the altar and declared that she would have no husband except Jesus Christ. Francis put her in a small house in San Damiano, and it wasn't long before other women joined her in seeking the devotional life. They were known as the poor ladies of San Damiano, and they lived a simple life of poverty, austerity, and seclusion from the world. Years later, Pope Gregory IX offered her a dispensation from her vow of poverty, but Clare replied, "I need to be absolved from my sins, but not from my obligation of following Christ." St. Clare and the other women didn't travel around like other Franciscans because that wasn't done by women in those days, so they lived in an enclosure. Their life consisted of manual labor and prayer. The nuns went barefoot, slept on the ground, ate no meat, and observed almost complete silence. Clare founded the Order of Poor Ladies, a monastic religious order for women in the Franciscan tradition, and wrote their Rule of Life, the first set of monastic guidelines known to have been written by a woman. After her death, the name of the order was changed from the Poor Clares to the Order of St. Clare. Clare has come down to us in some interesting ways in our society. There was a tradition of bringing eggs to the poor Clares so that they would pray for good weather. And in fact, in the Castilian language, Clara refers to an interval of clear weather, and in Spanish it also refers to the white or albumen of the egg. Many hospitals, churches, convents, and schools are named after St. Clare. But the one you will likely have heard of was a mission founded by Spanish missionaries in 1777 in Northern California. The city of Santa Clara, the university, the county, and the valley we now know as Silicon Valley were all originally named for St. Clare, as is the California city of Santa Clarita. Interestingly, Pope Pius XII designated Clare as the patron saint of television in 1958 on the basis that when she was too ill to attend Mass, she had reportedly been able to see and hear it on the wall of her room. The thing about both St. Francis and St. Clare is that they were dedicated to the care of God's people. Most other orders in that time were inwardly focused, being supported by the community. But the Franciscans and Poor Clares cared for others, especially for the poor and outcast, like we are called to do. Clare and the others renounced the life of wealth to live simply, assured that the greatest treasure of life was being with Christ. Clare died on August 11th in 1253 at the age of 59. Her last words were reported to have been, "Blessed be you, O God, for having created me." May we be thankful that God created us And may we, like Clare, seek to serve others. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.